guys, welcome back to Optical Armory. Right, as you can see, I've got a couple of Spypoint cameras in front of me, so that's what today's review is going to be based on. I've had them for just under a couple of weeks. The good guys at Thomas Jack sent them to me, and yeah, I mean, absolutely cracking little bits of kit these. I've never owned any. I've tried seeking a couple before for a review, and purely because where I do shoot, they do come in quite handy. So to be honest, after the review's been done, I definitely will be looking at investing in a couple of these because they're absolutely brilliant. We've got this one here, which is the False 11D, battery operated, and then we've got the Spypoint solar. Obviously it does what it says on the tin, solar powered one, so no batteries needed, which is brilliant because in this day and age with all these fancy little gadgets popping up, you know, you can end up doing a small fortune on batteries. But saying that, this one I've had up for just under a couple of weeks and the batteries don't seem to have been touched, because obviously it's only using the batteries when it kicks in once the sensors pick something up. So yeah, I've had these for a couple of weeks. I'll have a little run through some of the spec, got a little bit of footage. I didn't put them in the most ideal of places, to be honest. I mean, this permission I'm at this evening, I used this one to see if I could track where the muntjac are coming in and out, because I've got a few big houses around the back of this permission, and the muntjac are going in and tearing the flower beds to pieces of an evening and early morning. So I don't know whether you can see, but there's a woodland over the back there. So this one was strapped onto a fence post with good light source coming down on it, and I was able to get a couple of muntjac on footage, so that it's done the job for me. And yeah, really impressed with them, to be honest. I mean, like I say, I haven't used any before, so there's nothing to compare it by, but Spypoint definitely gets the thumbs up from me. So we'll have a little run through the spec and a few little bits of the footage and photos and etc, and hopefully you get the gist of just how good these are, so stay tuned. Right then guys, so we'll have a little look through these. Got both of them out, no point in you watching me unbox them, but we'll start on the solar one first. As you can see, they're pretty much identical, and they pretty much do the same thing, apart from one's battery powered and the other's got the built-in solar. They both come with straps, so you can get the strap threaded through the mount onto the back, or if you don't want to use that, you can go straight through the vise to get it onto trees. Obviously this has got a nice bit of grip on the back, so then it does help grip onto trees or fence posts, and I found they were quite helpful. So yeah, you thread the strap through into the back, wrap it around a tree or fence post, and away you go. It does also give you the option on both of them to fix them onto ground spikes, so you can put them anywhere. Then obviously I didn't want to lose them. I've only had these sent to me on test, so I didn't want to use the ground spikes, purely because if you do stick them out on a bit of land in the middle, you know, at one of the permissions, last thing I want is someone to take them. So I had them strapped onto I had this one on a fence post, this one on a tree. I had to move them around a little bit because I weren't getting much good footage, and with this one I was stupid enough to kind of put it somewhere where it wasn't picking up enough light transmission, so the batteries went flat. But that's just me being me. So yeah, with this one we'll have a little look. Symbols open up, got the option to padlock it shut, but I think that if anybody did want to take it, they'd just take the whole camera instead. So then what we've got here, we've got 42 LED IR bulbs. Now you've got 100-meter flash range on both of these, which I think is immense for such a small device. So then we've got the camera on the solar one, got 12 megapixel camera. I think that's roughly about the same sort of quality as an iPhone. Got the sensor and the 2-inch LCD screen. Now with this one, got the on-off button just there. It's got the ad as well. Memory card goes in the side, up to a 32 gig. Doesn't operate without a card in it. So once you get the card in, it gives you the options to start camera, which basically once you've got all your settings set up, you click OK. It tells you whether you want to do photo, time lapse or video. I've had it on video because you can do also in the settings you can set it up so it does take a photo before it starts recording. So I found that quite helpful because it's good to get a nice photo as well as some good video footage. So then that's on the setup mode. If you go to on this one, you've got the detection test. So if you go into that, it pretty much lets you know that it's going. It's not recording right now, but it's just basically letting you know where it's got the built-in solar panel. Here it's telling me it's picking up 88% light transmission, so obviously that's good for the solar. It's going to keep it nice and charged. At the minute it's got internal battery charge of 60%. It holds the charge when it's off. I've had it back from the permission for a couple of days now. Doesn't lose no charge, and I have put batteries in this just purely so you can see it does tell you the percentage of the batteries that I've got in there in a minute, which is at 27%. And then obviously you can put a 12 volt battery in this as well, but there's no need because obviously it's solar. So that's how simple it is on the detection test. Obviously when you with the solar one, just make sure you look out for the light transmission, because that's what's going to keep the internal batteries charged. Right, so if we just back up out of that, we've got the view mode. View mode, I think it's just messing around because I've taken the memory card in and out whilst I've had the device on. I'll just shut it down a second, put that back in, back on. It's purely done that because I took the card out once it was on. So if we go into the view mode, there we are. I've got 65 different things that it's picked up here. I will go through the stuff. I will add a couple of videos to this so you can clearly see. But you know, it just goes on and on and on because it's picking up stuff all the time. Birds, bugs. I mean, the sensor on this is ridiculously good. When I did first put it out, for the first couple of days I received it, in front of it, maybe, I don't know, 10 foot away from it, there was some long grass, and where the wind was blowing the grass, it kept on setting it off. So I do advise, if you do put it out, if there is grass in front of it, maybe try and flatten the grass down a little bit around that area, just purely because the sensor is so sensitive on this that it will pick up the grass blowing in the wind. So I had over 200 30-second video clips of grass blowing in the wind, and obviously I went through them all because I wanted to see if it did catch anything, but it didn't. It was just purely picking up the grass because the grass was moving and setting it off. So yeah, right, so that's the view settings. Then if you go down to the settings, that's where you can basically then go into the photo settings, instant. So basically as soon as it picks anything up, it wants to snap. But then sometimes with the photos you can adjust that to maybe a couple of second delay, so therefore it takes a photo whenever whatever it's picked up is more central in front of the camera. And then you can do multi-shot. I've only had it on one because I was focusing more on the video side of this, but obviously on the video one you've got the time lapse. I haven't used that, but I can imagine that would be quite good if you was to put it out on a hillside to watch some sunsets and stuff. But the video settings, now I set it up for instant, so basically as soon as anything goes in, then we had 60-second duration video. You can go 30 seconds, 10 seconds or 90 seconds. I felt a minute was good enough for me. And then obviously at the bottom here it says photo first, so basically before it starts filming, it takes a quick snap, and I found that quite beneficial because what I did pick up, I got a nice photo as well as some good footage. And then all the settings just down the bottom here, you've got all the language, you can set all the date and time and the temperature, the sensitivity. I had it on high. Maybe I should have put it down to medium so it wasn't picking the grass up and it was purely picking up the bigger objects, but I set it to high because I didn't want to miss anything. Set the quality to high, medium and low. Battery, you've got all the different settings for the time scale. Night mode, boost. I had it on boost because I wanted to see if it pick up anything at a good bit of distance. How you want to view the temperature. So yeah, it's all pretty good stuff, guys. I mean, like I say, it's beneficial in many different ways, to be honest. I mean, whether you want it down there for security or whether it's purely for watching your quarry. I mean, I wanted to find out what was going on with the deer. That one done me very, very proud. And I had this one at a different permission, the one that I'm sitting at the minute. Well, I've mixed them about a little bit, to be honest. but this one's pretty much exactly the same, apart from it hasn't got the solar. All the settings are the same. It's got the same trigger speed, so basically as soon as anything walks in front of this sensor, it triggers it off quicker than what you can blink, which is fantastic because you don't want to miss nothing with this one. Hold the OK button to turn it on. This one's an 11 megapixel, so slightly less than the other, but to be honest, still lovely crystal clear images and video footage that come through this. So it's all the same detection test. With this one, obviously it's not going to display any sort of light source because it's not solar, just shows you the battery power. I ain't changed the batteries in this, been going for just under 2 weeks, and it's still saying to me that it's 100%, so don't drain the batteries at all. And you can get the 12 volt battery to wire this one up as well. So this is just basically just to give you an idea. You can see my phone that I'm recording in at the minute, just basically give you a good idea of what it's aiming at and what it's going to be recording or taking photos of. So just back out, got the view mode, exactly the same as the other one. Tons of different things that I've captured. I put a couple up on the end of the review just for you to have a little look through, and then it's the same with the settings: photo, video, time lapse, video. And with this one, same amount of LED IR bulbs on that, 42. It's just a matter of whipping that off. This is all waterproof, and that's where your batteries sit. And as you can see, it didn't use hardly no battery power whatsoever. So yeah guys, I'm really impressed with these. I mean, I haven't tested many before, but after testing these, I definitely do want to try and get my hands on a couple, because they're an absolute godsend for when you down your permission. Obviously the solar power one is going to be a little bit more. I'm not too sure what these are retailing at the minute because everyone does different prices. But if you was to look on Thomas Jack website, and many other retailers do actually stock them, so the solar power would be my preferred choice, purely because you wouldn't have to worry about the power source all the time because it does keep itself charged. It's got a slightly higher megapixel, not by much, and the difference obviously in quality is not going to be great because it's literally just 1 megapixel difference. So yeah, they're pretty much the same thing, apart from you've got solar power. I'm really impressed with both of them, so we'll have a little look. I'll show you a couple of bits of footage and a couple of photos that I captured. And like I did say, I did catch a couple of people on land that shouldn't have been there, so I informed the farmer and stuff like that. So they're beneficial in many different ways. If you want to keep your eye on a quarry, put them down on your squirrel feeders to see when they're coming in for the weight of the feeders, just so you can get patterns of when there's good time to sort of go hunting, or not, or if it could be just security of your land. You want to see who's coming in and out when you're not about. So massive thumbs up for me on both of these. Solar one wins it purely because of the power. You know, you don't have to worry about the batteries. So yeah, Spypoint cameras, get involved guys, because they're fantastic.